Hey everyone, welcome to another What I Eat in a Day video. This is kind of what I eat in a weekend more than what I eat in a day because it's over the course of a couple of days. I started with a staycation. My friends and I stayed in a really cool hotel in LA. We went to dinner, ate some really delicious vegan food. We also stumbled upon this really cool studio kitchen that I was just drooling over. After that, I had a couple cozy days at home with easy, no fuss vegan meals. So I hope this video gives you some good ideas. Thank you to Scentbird for teaming up with me, and let's get started with this What I Eat in a Day. All right, I'm packing right now. I have not worn this dress since last summer and I just tried it on. I'm going to roll this up in a ball and pretty much throw it in my suitcase because I'm running a little bit late. But I wanted to show you the perfumes that I'm packing because I used to always have like a signature scent before I went vegan. I've always wanted to have a scent that like when people smell it, they're like, that smells like Nikki. And before I went vegan, I had the same perfume for like over 10 years. I started wearing it in high school, and my mom and my friends, like whenever they would smell it at like a store or an airport, they would think that smells like Nikki. But if you guys watch any of my videos about how I went vegan, I did not go vegan overnight. I started with breakfast and I started feeling really good. I got excited to try new plant-based recipes, and then I just kept eating more and more vegan meals. And then as I learned about vegan cooking, I also learned about veganism, and slowly but surely I started making ethical connections, and I ended up becoming vegan like over the course of about 6 months. And I would say like about a year into it is when I really became like a passionate ethical vegan because I really understood the why. But I didn't start from there. I definitely started with just trying plant-based meals, and I was feeling good and excited, you know, to try this new way of cooking. And it was as simple as that. So just like how I didn't go vegan overnight, I also didn't like totally throw out every single beauty product and every single household cleaner and make everything cruelty-free and vegan overnight either. It definitely took a lot of research and a lot of just like trial and error and finding just one product at a time, like finding good replacements for the not so eco-friendly and animal tested products that I used in everything from like skincare to makeup to cleaning products, like everything. I feel like if you're newly vegan or if you're trying to incorporate more plant-based and eco-friendly stuff into your life, it can be really overwhelming to think you have to do it all at once. Just like the thought of going vegan can be really overwhelming if you're thinking about doing it all at once. And so I'm here to remind you that you don't have to change everything all at once. I have now been vegan for almost 7 years. It'll be 7 years in October, and my phone is blinking because my friends are texting me, so I'm just gonna flip that over because I'm getting distracted. I've been vegan for 7 years, and now most of the beauty products and household cleaners that I use are cruelty-free and vegan, but that didn't happen overnight. It happened very slowly, like I said, with trial and error. And perfume has been the thing that has been one of the most challenging things for me, to find one that is both cruelty-free and vegan. I also like to gravitate towards clean products, ones that have really good ingredients, and finding a perfume that fits that criteria, that also smells good and like matches my personality and my style so that I can have a new scent, like a new signature scent like I used to. That has not been the easiest journey. I would say that's probably the most challenging swap I've faced so far. Let me know what the most challenging swap has been for you. Is it a cleaner? Is it a body product? Is it a perfume? For me, it's been perfume. So I am currently on the hunt to find my favorite cruelty-free vegan perfume that I can have as kind of my signature scent. That being said, I also really love seasonal things. I love having perfumes for specific occasions because it takes you like, I want to snap, but I have things in my hand, but it takes you right back to that place and time when you smell something. I love scent memory for that reason. And so I do like the idea of having, you know, like my main perfume and then like seasonal scents too. So that being said, I haven't found it yet. I have found this really cool way to try a bunch of different perfumes without breaking the bank, because perfume can be so pricey. A lot of times the little samples that you get, like they're just so small, and I feel like in order to really know if I like a perfume, I want to kind of live with it for a while. I want to wear it every single day. I want to see how it, you know, wears on my body, if it fades, if it lasts, and if I actually like it, because it takes a little bit to figure that kind of stuff out. So I have these little perfume samples from Scentbird, and the little vial is inside. So you can take this to go, you can travel with it. It closes up really nice and tight so it's not going to like spill in your purse or anything. But did you guys see how big this sample is. This is 8 times bigger than a traditional perfume sample, so you really get a lot of wear out of this. This is a 30-day supply. For me, it lasts longer because I don't wear perfume every single day. When I first heard about Scentbird, I didn't even really give it a second thought because I just assumed because they have so many designer perfumes that they weren't gonna have vegan, cruelty-free, clean options, but they actually do. They have vegan, they have cruelty-free, they have clean, and then they have a list that they sent me that I will put down below with the ones that are vegan, cruelty-free, and clean. So that's the list that I shopped from, and there were so many options. I haven't shut up about this to my mom. She keeps hearing about this. Like, even before they arrived, I was like shopping on the website and I was browsing the perfumes and I was like, Mom, this is the coolest thing ever, because you would never think that you could buy perfume from the internet because like you can't smell it, but it actually has all of the scent notes like very clearly laid out, even with little pictures, which I find really helpful. It helps me to kind of imagine what the perfume is going to be. And I love floral perfumes that are not too sweet and have a little bit of spice. Anyway, I'm packing those up right now because I'm going to meet my friends, but I just wanted to show you guys, oh, I haven't even told you what I'm doing. My friends and I are doing a little staycation at the W Hotel in Westwood. One of my friends' husbands was like, you need a good girls' night. You guys need to like have a fun weekend together. So he very kindly arranged this slumber party for me and my friends at the W. We're gonna have a movie night. I think we're definitely going to dinner, and in the morning I think we're just gonna like lay by the pool and chill. So that is the plan, and I'm not packing a ton of stuff because it's just overnight, but I still have to pack like my toiletries and my perfume. So while I'm doing that, I wanted to show you. But if you guys want to try Scentbird, there are so many awesome perfumes to choose from, and it's a monthly subscription, but it's super flexible and you can cancel at any time. And if you use the link in the description box below, you will get 55% off your first month, which makes it just around $8 for your first month, which is awesome. So I'm gonna keep packing. My friend Sarah's gonna be here in about 15 minutes to pick me up. So I'm gonna get a move on and I will see you guys at the hotel. This is my friend Sarah. We met up with Catherine and our friend Laura there, and we all just kind of hung out in the room for a little bit, got settled, talked for a while, and then we went to dinner at a French place called Violet Bistro in Westwood. I almost said West Hollywood, Westwood. And it's not vegan, but they have a couple of options that are vegan and some plates that are easy to veganize, but the ambiance was unreal. It's such a cute and cozy restaurant, and everything had beautiful flowers. I love these chive flowers on top of the cauliflower, pickled red onions for a pretty pop of color, and I really loved this melon salad. It was a bunch of different melon with cucumbers and really good tomatoes. It was absolutely delicious. We shared fries, we shared baguette, and then we went upstairs to check out their cooking school, which was incredible.
So what do you think, Nikki? Will this do?
If I could like teach cooking classes in a space like this.
You guys, my heart was like racing when I was in this kitchen studio because it was just kind of like my own dream of what I want my kitchen studio to be like. It was like standing in my own Pinterest board, and it's the kind of place where one day I'd be able to like shoot content and make awesome videos, recipe test, have events, cooking classes, like have my friends over for leftovers. Like it's just the dream.
Yeah, it's love at first sight.
Look at these dessert bowls.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh my god.
I really loved how functional it was. It was really big and spacious, but it also felt really cozy. It had lots of natural elements. I loved it.
I need to like commit this to memory because this is my dream, like in real life.
I know.
Turns out I'm not the only one who loves it. My friend sent me this video the next day of Brooklyn Beckham shooting a video for Vogue there, so that was pretty cool. The next morning we got coffee and we ended up FaceTiming one of our friends who's currently in England right now, so that was really nice. Then we got ready for breakfast and had breakfast by the pool. This was my breakfast. I find that a lot of places, if they don't have like a vegan option, you can usually change the egg and avocado toast to tomato and avocado toast, which is what I did. After that, I came home and I did some recipe testing for my dinners video, and the next day my sister and I did something really fun. This is one of my favorite activities to do when it's warm in the summertime, is to basically go down to Santa Monica, rent a couple of bikes, and just bike along the coast. You can go all the way down. You could go really far. You could go to Venice, you could go to Manhattan Beach. It's really just a beautiful bike path. So my sister and I did that. We stopped for some vegan ice cream and enjoyed a day in the sun, and this was so nice. The next day was kind of a half and half day. It started with half the day being computer work, editing, that kind of thing. Then I broke up the day with a quick lunch and I made kind of a version of the Greek pizza that I made in my dinner video. But instead of hummus, I made my whipped feta dip and I blended some herbs and some sun-dried tomatoes into it, and it was so tasty. I did arugula, pepperoncinis, some tomatoes and cucumbers, fresh lemon juice. It was delicious. I actually ended up having 2 for lunch because one wasn't quite enough. And then I moved on to practicing my blueberry pie recipe. I made this around the 4th of July for my family and it was good, but there were just a couple things I wanted to improve upon. So I practiced it on this day and I got really close. I'm really happy with the overall flavor. I like the flavor and texture of the pie crust. I love the flavor of the filling. I think it's a good recipe so far, but there's just a couple things I want to tweak before I share it. One of the mistakes I made was actually rolling out the pie crust when it was too cold. Everything you read about pie crust is that it's really important for it to stay cold because you want the butter to be really nice and cold so that you can create flaky layers as it bakes. But if it's too cold and you try to roll it out, you're going to get cracks, and that's just going to kind of mess up the aesthetic more than anything else, which is what happened to me on this day. So it's actually kind of a good thing when these things happen, frustrating as it is for me sometimes, because I can make notes of all the things that went well and all the things that didn't go well, and I can use that data to share a more helpful video when I do share the recipe and when I do share the blog post. Like, I can make sure that all of those tips are in the video so that when you guys go to make it, you can nail it on the first try and you don't have to have as many like tests as I do. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason I recipe test. So it was a good day. It was really productive, and the next day I got to enjoy it, and oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm so excited to share this recipe with you. I've literally just been like eating it standing up in the kitchen. Like, didn't even go sit down. I've just been like shoveling it because it's so good. But what I really like is that I wanted a pie that really tastes like summer, and a lot of blueberry pie recipes have like warming spices like cinnamon, which I absolutely love, but I wanted to create like a summer berry pie recipe that really just kind of lets the blueberry flavor shine and is just simple in that way, but still really tasty. I tried a couple of different things to make that happen, and I'm really happy with this result. Also, this pie crust. So one of the times I made it all with vegan butter. One of the times I did it with vegan butter and some coconut oil just to see how it affected like the flavor and the texture and all that. And I really wanted it to have flavor in and of itself. Like, I didn't want it to just be about the filling. I wanted the pie crust to be really flavorful too. There's one thing I want to try for next time, which is to add vinegar or vodka to the pie crust. Sounds a little bit weird, but apparently you don't taste it. I've been reading a lot about pie recently. Basically, it helps to prevent the formation of gluten, so you get like a really tender, flaky crust. It's not going to make it soft, it's still going to be flaky, but it makes it to where like when your fork goes through the crust, it's just like not hard, you know, like it just has this tender, flaky texture. So that's what we're gonna try. I love it the way it is, so I'm pretty happy with it as is, but if I do that round of testing and it like blows me out of the water, knocks my socks off, and I'm like, this is so much better, then I'm definitely gonna incorporate that into the final recipe, which should be up in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be a video here in I think 3 weeks. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this What I Eat in a Day video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you wanna see more What I Eat in a Day videos and the dinner recipe video that I have mentioned in this video, that will be in the description box below, and that is also where you'll find a link to try Scentbird, so definitely take advantage of that discount there. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye!